Hello and welcome to the Infinite Escape Room pubisode, where we discuss the drinkable qualities of a Yorkshire pudding, talk about the quantum perplexities of audio escape rooms, and everything starts to unravel when John tucks into a packet of chocolate digestives. So here we are sitting in the Cave-In, the only pub where they can legally serve minors, taking a quick break after our escape from...
Jamie, that's so
Lord.
I can't take credit.
That's brilliant.
My wife came up with both the pub name and the blurb after it. She was on fire tonight, so thank you, Mim. Taking a quick break after our escape from Danarogov Cave to have a drink and chat about the room, what we just did. But first, it's my round. So who's drinking what?
Water. Council pop.
Delicious. Is it fizzy or is it flat?
Flat. It's fresh from the tap.
You are an absolute rebel. I mean, at least it's Welsh water, so it's going to be like the top quality shit.
Obviously.
Well, barkeep, I'm going to have, I think, a bottle of Yorkshire pudding beer.
Oh, fuck no.
Oh, wow.
Jesus Christ.
Which even has
that sounds
written
amazing.
upon it, made with real Yorkshire pudding.
Where'd you get it from?
And it says, winner of Aldi's The Next Big Thing Award.
Aldi. I'm going to keep an eye out for that.
So, here we go.
Oh, please be good. Please be good.
I'm trying to detect if I can taste Yorkshire pudding. And I don't think I can, but it's okay. I just don't feel like it's done what it's set out to do. And it's even made by the Yorkshire Pudding Beer Brewery, TM, who are definitely a real brewery. Jury's out.
I'm disappointed, John.
Yeah.
After the build-up you gave us, I was expecting steam to come out your ears or for you to turn into a plate of gravy. I am sad.
I'll be honest, yeah, it's not great.
It's because it's made with Yorkshire puddings. Yorkshire puddings, lovely. Beer, lovely. Together,
I would like to know the part, the step in the beer making recipe where it says, then add Yorkshire.
And you've also got to assume, like, these aren't the fresh ones. Nobody's sitting there making fresh Yorkshire puddings for this.
Yeah.
These are the ones that aren't Bessie's. We're like, well, this is either pig feed or beer mush.
And Yorkshire puddings can only be eaten fresh.
Yeah. Well, I'd eat them regardless, but yeah, they should only be fresh.
Oh,
I'll nosh
no.
them cold, I'll nosh them stale.
I scorn both of you for this. Me, scorn your choices of the food.
They shouldn't be wasted, John. They need to be eaten regardless.
Think about what you've done.
They freeze well. Yorkshire puddings freeze well.
They never last long enough in my house to freeze.
Oh, no, because double cooked Yorkie. Beautiful.
I mean, what if you poured the beer into a Yorkshire pudding? Let it soak up all that lovely beer goodness.
I'm wondering, is this basically a bottle of gravy?
Oh.
Is that what I'm drinking with alcohol? Is that...
It's not a bad shout.
Maybe this is like the next beer we need to look out for from Aldi, of just like delicious Bovril beer.
Oh.
In a culture clash, I'm going to wash this down with some fake mochi balls. Oh, it's a little too hard. Needs to soften up. Sorry. Got to wait for the balls to soften before. But
that was a really well-practiced motion there.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
That's one for the OnlyFans.
Yeah. That's an image. And I'm Mike. I'm Riggedy Diggity Mike Collins. And I am drinking, I'm on the 19 Crimes.
Hey!
It's been a little while.
Lovely.
But to add a little bit of variety, it's 19 Crimes that got opened at the weekend and has been camping in the fridge because I found that 19 Crimes doesn't sit well once it's opened. Like, it turns to 19 types of vinegar very quickly.
Again, doesn't last long enough.
Are you drinking chilled red wine?
It was chilled when it came out the fridge, but because it's like 90 degrees in my house, it's definitely body temperature.
Does that work? Does chilling red wine slow down the process of degradation?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's whenever I've got because when you get a really mellow, sweet red wine, you're like a Pinot Noir or something, and you're like, this is delicious. The day you open it, scrummy, and then you're like, I'll finish this off tomorrow night, and then the next day you do, and it strips the enamel from your teeth. Well, yeah, it's because it's just started to turn. But if you stick it in the fridge, I wouldn't do it with anything with a lot of those really tanniny ones. Wouldn't do it with that because they tend to go a bit funny. But yeah.
And I'm Jamie, and I'm drinking 19 Crimes' shit little cousin, The Reprobates, also from Aldi.
Oh no, Jamie, it's bad.
Yeah,
It is bad. It is bad.
And it's not even that much cheaper. which is insulting.
Hang on. We had this conversation on this podcast about this wine about a month ago, and I damned it, and you went, that's all the recommendation I need.
Well, I got a, scientific inquiry, John. I need to make sure that I see for myself.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I tried the off and buy a bottle immediately after discovering it with you, John. And then I was like, I can kind of see what they're trying to do, but no.
Yeah,
and not that much.
Leaves a horrible sting in the back of my throat. I'm going to drink it because, it's not that bad. But yeah, it doesn't hold a candle to 19 Crimes.
No, it could be worse, mind. I have drunk worse wine than the reprobates.
Yeah? Oh, if you've drunk a shitty wine, please at us on Twitter. Give us your recommendations for things to avoid.
If you want us to drink your shitty wine, then why not sponsor us? And we'll say how shitty it is and then buy a bottle again anyway.
Because
maybe our listeners will as well. Maybe we're the viral marketing scheme you never knew you wanted.
We do need 13 Crimes to sponsor us by this point.
Oh, we do.
We are putting their kids through college, definitely.
Yeah. I really hope we don't get sponsored by mochi balls, because the idea of watching John eat another mochi ever again in my life will be one mochi too many. This has been a horrendous experience.
I would be totally fine with that. But the posh ones, not the Aldi ones.
As long as we film it in slow-mo, stick it up on TikTok for the top-tier Patreons.
Yeah, did you eat the posh one in Sainsbury's? Is that why you're not allowed back and why you're now having to rim these ones?
the sock on Aldi's balls.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an advert right there. Just close-up of John's mouth noshing on one of those things.
Yeah, it's like watching a Dyson try to extract every ounce of moisture out of an apple. It's just horrendous. John's really going to town on it.
Before we get into the next part of this episode, quick spoiler warning. If you've not listened to the previous episode, please stop immediately. What do you think you're doing? Go listen to that and then come back. Or don't. I'm not your fucking dad. Do you like? So, last week, our amazing solvers escaped from none other than the famous Danarogov Cave in Wales through some deft touching of penis walls, touching of nuns, and launching themselves off into the abyss in a coracle, cool running style, which I think was very nice. And you managed it by the skin of your teeth with like 50 seconds left. So very well done, chaps.
So first question I have about this room, Jamie, is if this is based on a real place, how much of it is based on a real place?
As much as I could, to be honest. So there
is definitely a sign that says Bone Cave.
Are there penis drawings on the walls of this cave?
There are not penis drawings, but there are handprints on the walls of the cave. So there is a bone cave, there is a cathedral cave, there are handprints, there's a caveman diorama. The nuns is a real thing. It's a particular formation of stalagmites. There's a lake as well. There's no Neolithic trampoline as far as I'm aware, but some artistic licensing was done. But yeah, I went to Danarogov over Easter, and I'd not been since I was a kid, so I had high hopes. And despite some parts of it being a little bit disappointing, I was immediately like, this has to be a puzzle. So I was that asshole just barging into the front of the queue, taking photos.
But Jamie, have you seen you can get married there now?
Yeah, so the cathedral cave.
Yeah, how cool is that?
They really do. They play organ music over the sound of the waterfall. Because the acoustics
Oh, that's
are
what that was. Oh, that's lovely.
And people get married there for photos and stuff. It is slippery as fuck, though. You are in danger of falling into a quite rapidly rushing river into a part of the cave if you slip. It is dangerous.
Oh, that's to make some excellent photos, though.
It would have if I had a camera that wasn't shite. So I was taking photos for inspiration of all the little handprints and stuff. They came out just all blurry because it's a cave and I can't take photos to save my life. But yeah, the coracle, the Edwardian explorer, those are all legit parts of the history.
Oh, so there's a genuine Edwardian explorer dead in the cave?
Not dead in the cave.
Wait,
but
there's a coracle in there?
That was the boat. The boat was a coracle.
But is there actually one in there?
Not now, but that's how they did. No. That's how they discovered the cave. So there was these two brothers had a farm near the cave. Weirdly, the farm was called Danarogov Farm. Danarogov means beneath the cave in Welsh. So how the fuck did they discover a cave that was under a farm that was already called beneath the cave? I don't get how it works. I've tried to find out. Can't figure it out.
Hang on. So they lived on a farm, and the farm was called Beneath the Cave Farm. And at no point did they think, I wonder why it's called that.
What came first?
Nah. Let's not go looking.
Yeah, so the farm had like a river running through it, and they wanted to find out where the source was. And as they were exploring, they found this massive lake. And they went across the lake in this little one-man coracle boat, and all they took was a bunch of candles, some rope, and a revolver, and went in because they didn't know if they were going to be like fucking bears or sharks or shit.
A revolver. That's great.
They were badass. Like, I don't know what's in you. I've got a gun, a rope, and some candles. I am going in.
That is so that era.
That's metal as fuck.
Love it.
So yeah, as much as I could, it's fairly historically accurate. Apart from the caveman language, that was ripped off from Age of Mythology. Those are the little things.
That was a good puzzle, though. That was such a good puzzle.
Yes. Which part of Age of Mythology? I used to love that game. I kicked ass at that game. Which bit of Age of Mythology was that?
So the
Norse, presumably.
No, those are the Egyptian. The little barks when you lead them on to like click on shit to chop trees and stuff. The sort of Enexkere, Bidi Amo. That's all. The little things they say. It's like Simish, but
that's wonderful. I like that. It's been a while since we've had like a language puzzle like that, and I love one where it's like, we give you the bits of the words, you can just reassemble. Like that was smart.
That and the arrows, which we completely
you overcomplicated that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that we overcomplicated it. We miscategorized it. We decided immediately that the categories were the areas of the mammoth that the arrows were in, and we were fixated
what
upon that.
What do you mean we, John? What do you mean we?
Decided that we... I was not alone in this.
Yeah, I think it was me that initially, went like, the head, there's some in the head.
And
then Alad, you were
we
the
just
one
sort
who
of
saw
pursued that.
I mean, only because we got a steer from Jamie, let's be fair.
Alad saw the light.
It's one of those interesting things that, like, I knew that, like, it was just about the number of arrows and the fletchings. So I tried to make the position and the angles as random as I could. But the more random you make it, the more you'd find a pattern. Like with the hands, those are all just randomly distributed to make it look like some fucker's just been platinum all over the wall. And the first instinct was to connect them.
And Mike's going, there's triangles here.
I was trying to work out if these triangles intersected, would they have a message or like a number or something in them?
I'm not that smart.
But because that's the exit the game, like advent calendars, that's like one of their favorite types of puzzle.
Oh yeah.
Is the like basically the join the dots style puzzle of give you some things and then you connect the points and then it shows you something. Those
are one of the ones that blindsides me in an escape room. Any kind of sort of pathfinding puzzle to like create the shape of a number by following shit. Like I never get it. I always need a hint for it.
Oh, I'm normally quite good at those. That stuff gels with me.
Yeah, same. But then saying that, John, the problem you and I have when we do escape rooms is that we are both either good at a type of puzzle or we're both bad at it. Which means that
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like our skills overlap quite a bit, so that we'll often have something that the average child of 5 could solve, and we're just sitting there like
we just can't see it.
We just cannot see it for the life of us. It's like find the pencil, and we're like, what do they mean by pencil? How many letters are in pencil? And they're like, there's a pencil.
Yeah, we're bad at the find. We are bad at the find.
I did an escape room once where being a child was actually an advantage because you needed to be of a certain height.
Because there was a chimney.
You needed to be of a certain height to see an element of a puzzle through a window into another room. And because we were all like over 5 foot, like 7, we didn't see it. And then my little sister, who was a bit shorter, went, it's there. It's been there all along. Fuck. Maybe I'm a little bit too old / tall for this room. That's why I'm not solving it.
Or, you could be Mike and I in an escape room where we just don't work well together.
No, it's terrible. It's because we egg each other on. We just make each other laugh and don't do anything. We're just sitting there going, look at the silly thing here. Isn't that silly? And
that was one of the most difficult escape rooms I think I've ever done, was with you.
Yeah. I think you and I made it difficult. You've done it, Jamie. It's the one in
not Skelton Manor, Picton Castle.
Oh, the time traveling one.
Yeah.
It's a cracking room. Thoroughly recommend that one.
I think the guide got slightly annoyed with us. He literally dragged us along, kicking and screaming.
Yeah,
stop fucking about, you two.
It was like having a third person in the room with the number of things he was having to give us.
Like, can we have a clue? And another one. Don't go away, please.
Were there any bits of that puzzle that didn't really gel for any of you guys, or like didn't work as well?
I guess the the voice, I mean, we didn't go and look at the buttons, which obviously would have made that more straightforward. But the degree of interpretation from listening to the voice through the waterfall required definitely opened up the possibility for disaster, because it's reliant on, like, it's not like it's words that we can all agree on in the language that we speak. It's abstract sound. And if you play a series of abstract sounds to 3 different people, they're all going to hear slightly different things.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, so when you provided us the text actually for them, that was when it this is...
cool. We can work with this. Yeah. It makes sense.
Because your text said, Aurwa inex zomos. I wrote, all war inert zomus.
Fairly close. Fairly close.
It's not a million miles away, but it's...
similar enough to be a red herring.
Yeah.
And there are enough similar sounds to make you question what's the right interpretation.
Yeah,
I think we would have got there if there'd have been if we hadn't have been so badly running out of time by that point. I think we would have got there.
Yeah. To be fair, and that was the only bit that for me we could have done better. We could have done better. That was the only bit for me where there was like a little bit of like wiggle room, and I think John's right. We would have gotten there.
Yeah.
But I think that the whole room was super tight. It just kind of came together really well. Classic Jamie.
The funny enough, the audio. I had a similar issue in the very, very first puzzle I did for this podcast, when it was you were banging bars on a bird cage. And every time you banged one of the bars, the bird would have to a snippet of a sound.
Oh, yes, I remember this.
I listened back to
it. And it was bloody snowflakes.
Yeah, and I remember, I think it was you, John, you were just like, God, like this is like pulling teeth. I was like, oh no, this is my first interaction with these guys on the podcast. They're not going to ask for me to come back.
Oh, that was Nanny's living room, wasn't it? That was their grandma's living room.
I thought I would have interacted with the hand wall sooner to start touching shit, and then you would have been able to go, okay, we can press these.
So that... I asked you to go through the note again and lend me a hand. But John was going through a kind of a thought thing at the time. So I was like, I'll let John finish. And it ended up being quite a long thought thing. So I was just there like, okay, I'll wait until...
So it's my
I'll wait until John finishes. wait until John finishes. It'll be done soon. Nearly there. Okay, can we go and touch the wall, please?
Damn it. I am a walking distraction from relevance.
It's that oiled dolphin body of yours.
But I do think the hand thing, that was definitely a good example of if this were a real life escape room and the hand things were in front of us, you totally quite early on put your hands in the handprints. But because we're in an abstract space and we're just looking at a picture of some handprints, somehow that instinct to put your hand where the hand is does not apply.
Yeah.
And instead, we obsessed over the image itself in all sorts of different ways and started carving stuff and drawing triangles, looking at the placement of them and all this stuff without doing the obvious thing of put your hands in.
Well, maybe there's a way we can address this. I mean, admittedly, this is now taking us slightly away from the land of the audio podcast, but AI image generation is perfect for this kind of thing. Show me a cave wall where... I mean, the hand would have the wrong number of fingers, and that would throw us because AI cannot do fingers at all. But
no, it can't, can it?
Yeah, it's weird. But I know exactly what you mean, John. I know exactly what you mean. It's like if we'd seen that in front of us, we'd be like, "This is the size of my hand."
Yeah.
You just do it.
I think this is where the lines between like the audio puzzle format and the role play RPG aspect of it starts to blur, where normally you see a visual aid and you would just want to look at it, take it at face value as a picture. But then in other aspects, you get into the role play, like Mike, when you want to use the coracle for the lols. It's using that mindset.
But I wonder, had you given us a picture of the coracle, I'd wager that we wouldn't have tried to use it. We would have focused on it as an image.
Yeah.
And not the details of that image. Had you described the handprints on the wall to us, instead of showing us the image and said there's 18 handprints on the wall, not 18, but 24, whatever it is, each handprint is randomly spaced, and in the center, in the palm of each hand is a different symbol, and there's three of these, three of these, three of these. I reckon without the image in front of us, we would have much more quickly interacted with it physically.
But then we would have spoiled some of the puzzle, because I think that it was the three that was the thing. It was like there's three of each, and there's three of us. That was the bit that connected
yes,
to me.
Yeah.
Lend me, yes. He needed.
I love a bit of signposting. Good signposting.
It's
I love it.
Yeah, that was good signposting. That was really good. The lend me a hand.
That's really interesting. The nature of the way that you present the puzzle changes the way that you interact with it, which is really
I think
cool.
that's definitely true.
Yeah,
that's weird, oddly philosophical.
It's hard being an audio escape room sometimes, isn't it? Because sometimes you want to do a cool thing, and you're like, "Hey, you see a hidden switch,
yeah,
and it's really well hidden, and I've stuffed it on a cushion." And they go, "Can we press the switch?" You're like, "Oh, I hope you searched the whole room." But and in the escape room that you've built in your head, like this real escape room, they're having this amazing time. They're tearing the place to pieces. They're finding out this story while they're finding this hidden switch tucked down the back of the sofa cushion. And you're just like, you see a sofa, there's a switch in it. You'll see a sofa. There's something unusual about the cushion. Like it's so hard to hide and bury things.
Yeah.
Yes, in a way that is not unfair.
Yeah.
You're quite good at this, though, Mike. You're quite good because you approach it from the opposite direction. Rather than saying there's a sofa and a fun-looking cushion, you'd say there's a bookshelf with some crooked shelves on it. There's a wardrobe with no clothes in there, and there's a sofa with a funny-looking cushion. And like you'd embed a load of other junk in there that meant nothing to mask the crucial fact.
But it's always with enough detail in each of those elements that you go, I need to interact with that now, because you wouldn't
the bookshelf.
You wouldn't give that much detail to something that's just set dressing, and that's the
Ben would. Ben would give you song and verse about the reddest of herrings, the luster of its scales, the length of its fins,
and there'd be pocket lids. Why? Oh, because it's a pocket.
That's linked in it. None of the corpses that we've desecrated have had belly button fluff yet, has it? Because that's true.
No,
that's true immersion. That's next episode.
And corpse desecration is at this point an infinite escape room.
It's a
tradition.
staple, yeah.
Well, I think
Come back a long time.
Depending on the state of the corpse, though, you probably wouldn't get belly button fluff, because isn't the soft tissue around the belly one of the first thing that goes?
Well, we need a freshly dead one then. Get a murder mystery on the go.
Is it?
I tell you what. So, I think Professor Sue Black's books.
How do you know this?
Yeah.
Just genuinely, let me find the titles of them, because they're amazing books. I recommend them to everybody. They're all about death.
What, as in how to commit murder, or?
Well, I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, apparently I'm the dark one on this.
No,
podcast,
it's more like kind
here
of.
we are.
Well, so it's like what happens when people die, like the processes and how people break down. All That Remains. All That Remains. Sue Black, a fantastic book. Everybody should read it. She's a fantastic writer. It's entertaining. It's kind of funny. It's kind of sad. But scientifically, it's super interesting.
Trouble is, though, Michael, who are you buying that for? Who's getting that as a birthday or Christmas present that is not going to feel judged?
I've bought that for people before. Elderly relatives.
If you give that to anyone, it's like there's a book out there. I can't remember the name of it, but I heard about it. There's a book out there, and it's about cheating. It's about people who cheat in relationships. And the basic argument of the book is that these people are happy. But it's a book that if you're in a relationship, you cannot read. You cannot read that because the very reading of it implies something that is unacceptable. So like, oh, that's an interesting subject. Not reading a page of that. I bet sales are terrible.
Are you implying that I shouldn't read All That Remains by Sue Black because I'm alive? And that I should only read it when I'm dead?
I mean, that's more about giving it to people. But it's a book whose very subject matter is so unpalatable that while fascinating, the act of having it on display in a physical form is a problem.
So I think we need to talk about death more. I think we need to be more open about death.
So I believe that is the bell for last orders. But before we go away, something I wanted to bring to the listeners' attention is something a little thing that was created by Step Lockyer, who was on the podcast recently, and it's something that I want to try out. Step has done or created or is doing a thing called the 100 Rejections Challenge, which I think is great. Whereas
I win
when he his goal is to collect 100 rejections for opportunities that he's gone for. So the intent behind that is to just strip all the nervousness and I can't do it and all that shit that's blocking you from just asking people to do stuff or getting opportunities, because it doesn't matter if they say no. You want them to say no because you're collecting rejections. And if they say yes, then great, bonus. You've got cool shit happening to you. If they say no, great. I'm adding it to my 100 rejections list. So either way, you win. I think it's beautiful. And it's something I want to try out at some point. Maybe not 100, because Christ.
Look, Jamie, let me just give me 30 seconds and I can bring up my basically the account of my career, which will have, here we go, right, meetings, and this is as in auditions, 176.
You've already won.
Jobs, 33. I win.
Maybe you need to control the time period of that then.
Fair, but
do it in I think the original idea is 100 within a year.
You want to collect. Actually, the thing is though, they wouldn't even be rejections. A few of them would be, because a few of them would be, it will shortlist you or pencil you or whatever you want to call it, and actually no, it went the other way. Most of them though would be this sound.
That would not count. Yeah, so if somebody goes it wouldn't count. So it has to be proactive, actual actual no's.
Okay, so people out there in the world, you find those people who ghosted you. You find them and you kill them. Sorry, no, you collect their...
Yeah, you get an answer.
That's
yes or no, either way.
Get an answer.
Well, surely the ghosting is the answer.
How many people have you ghosted, Aled?
I haven't ghosted anybody.
Did you make your feelings very clear, Aled?
I haven't ghosted anybody.
I can't imagine you would, Aled. You'd be like, no. But I thought you wouldn't be no. You'd just be like, no thanks. No, nah.
I'd be awfully polite about it.
So I'm fairly certain either Steph's written about it or maybe Myri, who was on you before as well, she wrote about it. One of them wrote about it. So I'll link to it in the show notes. But I think it's a great idea to, for me, whenever I want to do something, like invite a guest onto the podcast or, shoot my shit and see if we can get a sponsor, that kind of thing. I got the email drafted. I just haven't clicked send because I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. But if I want rejection, send.
I love it. Alternate game. Send all of your unsent draft emails.
Oh, dear.
No.
Hello, we've had this message. HR say you've just resigned 17 times.
You make several threatening references to the company.
Several threatening references to our well-being and sexual organs. Do you have anything you want to... Oh, golly. I wonder... So, yeah, I love the... word. What's the word for this?
Sentiment.
That's the sausage. I love the sentiment behind it. I wonder if it's kind of like a slight kill or cure, in that you either totally, you come out the other end and you are like, I'm no longer afraid of rejection. I am rejection. Or you come out with...
And you go, I am rejection, and throw yourself
I'm like, cool. My self-esteem is in the absolute toilet. I will now never speak to another person in my living life and live off of digestive biscuits delivered through the post.
That sounds pretty good, actually. That's not too bad. Yeah. If you get a subscription service just for digestive biscuits, that's actually quite handy.
Chocolate digestives.
But I suppose the idea is after 100, that should help to reframe the way that you're thinking about it. And hopefully because you're proactively seeking those rejections, it's less of a blow when it happens, because you think, well, at least a part of you should be like, I want this. This is part of my goal, is to get that.
It's an interesting way of rationalizing it, isn't it? I want you to say no.
And if you keep getting yeses, as can happen, because you've actually put yourself out there, you have to keep seeking opportunities because you still haven't reached that 100 rejections. So you'll put yourself out there more. So listeners, send that email that's in your drafts. Tweet that celebrity to tell them that you love them. Take that chance. If it's illegal, don't fucking do it.
And that email, don't send that one.
Not that one, but the other one, that's fine. Yeah, don't just be safe is what I'm saying. But also put yourself out there. Take those chances.
Oh,
John, I was about to unmute you on the server, and then you put another biscuit in your mouth. And the first one was just so... I had to server mute John because the sound of me eating a biscuit was just so horrible. Oh, you could eat the entire packet?
And the packet itself.
I'm not going to server unmute you until there is no biscuit in your mouth. He's unmuted himself. Piss. Who gave him?
Vote him. Bullshit. I mean, I hope they're delicious at least.
I've been muted.
I mean, it's an improvement from the balls.
Yeah, it's an improvement from the balls.
That's fair. It's less erotic.
I have to say your balls had more moisture.
You've done this to yourself. We'll be finished in 10 minutes, then you can stuff yourself noisily to your heart's content.
But Jamie made me think of biscuits.
I mean, yeah. I'm
lovely.
I'm the bad guy in this scenario. I take full responsibility.
I'm just gonna wash them down with some
Yorkshire pudding beer. Christ, John.
So
your microbiome, there's no, it's fucking coming or going. Jamie, I have one thing to plug very quickly, if that's all right. Before we, okay, I say plug. Just one thing to say, which is, are you two a hay fever sufferer? Does pollen smack you around the face with a fucking cricket bat every goddamn morning and night, and do you hate it?
No, I'm a grown up.
Fuck you, John. Fuck you and your
fuck you, John.
Histamines. Your good, well-calibrated histamines. So you may have fallen prey to this thing about local honey. And I've seen it do the rounds, and every time I say I have hay fever, somebody says, "Oh, you should try local honey," and blah, blah, blah. So I looked for some peer-reviewed research on it, and I found some. And the long and short of it is that it's absolutely no difference whatsoever. There is no difference for the placebo group as there is for those taking local honey for the infects. So for the
which means that you're just cursed
of rhinoconjunctivitis. Yeah, it's just you're fucked. Yeah. Have as many antihistamines as your body will take before you start seeing devils, and just don't buy into this incredibly expensive weird local honey thing. It's absolute bullshit. Just buy honey because it's delicious.
I would say local honey is very tasty.
Well, it's delicious. It's just
so. If you want to buy it because it tastes lovely, then great.
Yes, but there will be assholes who will sell you it in supplement form.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they can get in the bin.
Yeah,
but they're the same people that would sell you vitamins in supplement form, which largely can get in the bin.
No, thank you. I mean, if you want to get rid of hay fever, the key thing is to appease the goddess of summer. So you must sacrifice somebody in a giant wicker effigy once a year to keep the crops coming and to keep the pollen out your face. But people apparently take issue with that. That's not good for people.
I think I'm at that stage now, to be honest. I think I can,
It's a public service, Mike.
I mean, I've had to mute myself several times, and I'm looking at the top of my microphone now.
I have noticed you blowing your nose a fair bit.
Yeah, there's what I can describe as a deposit on top of my microphone fluff. The little foam cap is going to need to go in the wash off.
The irony is you don't even live in the countryside.
Milton Keynes, we've got trees everywhere. It's tree pollen.
Yeah,
absolute shit.
Surrounded by concrete.
Surrounded by trees, John. Surrounded by trees.
Solid concrete. Solid grey concrete. It's like the Death Star out there.
Absolutely. Outrageous.
Another thing I forgot to mention for our listeners is that Mike and I were recently individual guests on the Life is an Escape Room podcast.
Oh, yeah, shit, that's published.
With Christina and Jeff Eanes. I don't know what
Life is an Escape Room and we all get out. What's the
premise is using escape room psychology and team dynamics, taking the things that you do in that scenario into a professional setting. So the episode that I was on was all about seeing things from other people's perspectives. I don't know, what was yours, Mike?
John, don't laugh. Emotional intelligence.
Interesting.
And pedagogy. It was emotional intelligence tied in with pedagogy, so a bit of Mesereau's hierarchy of needs and everything.
Nice. They were lovely folks to chat to. And it was a good couple of episodes, so I'll pop those in the show notes as well. So give them some love, tell them that we say hi, and if you want to see us on other people's podcasts, give us recommendations for other people's podcasts for us to visit, and we will add them to our 100 rejections list when we ask them to go on their podcast.
I want to be on Joe Rogan and call him a fuck.
That's the entire podcast. Just you, sir. Fuck. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, no. You need to add the user RA, not user fuck, because
okay, then I'm Joe Rogan. I'll fuck you. Oh, Joe, get off me, you horrible little man. Do you want some edibles? No, fuck off, Joe.
I maintain there's gonna be some breaking news thing where it turns out that Joe Rogan and Andrew Tate were the same person.
just with a wig.
One's wearing a bodysuit.
They're both bald. There's no wig.
I thought, isn't Andrew Tate? He's bald. He's got hair.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Nope,
and he's in prison.
Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate, and oh my god, he's here with us.
Yeah.
Oh no, Heston Blumenthal just unzips the back of his head and out pops Joe Rogan.
It's me, Joe fucking Rogan. You may remember me from such podcasts as Golly Crikey, isn't COVID all a government conspiracy? Are vaccines really the answer? And holistic medicine and my delicious vitamin pills.
You see, I think that seems written down. That's a future episode that you've got in the pipeline, Mike.
Also, having just looked at a picture of, there's definitely. Am I missing out as a bald person with a beard? Should I, in fact, be?
There is an image here.
Yeah,
there's a.
I could be making more money peddling shit.
Just
good.
Yes,
peddle shit and tell people that they shit, unless they buy your shit, and that's how you make bank these days.
Oh my god,
easy money.
Latest bitches must make my first gazillion.
And I believe that is kicking out time for the pub. So we shall see you next time from the Infinite Escape Room, where we're escaping from fucking midair on a rapid descent to the ground.
It's gonna be a cotty job.
Yes.
Digestive hell. Escaping from digestive hell.
I'm sorry, John. Could you say that again with an ounce of moisture in your face?
As he drinks his Yorkshire pudding beer to
swell down the digestive.
I don't want to.
Well, don't eat the biscuits. You just had to wait. Have you ever been listening to Radio 4? You ever listening to the Today programme and suddenly John Humphreys is like, excuse me, and then he's just tucking into a fucking chicken. Just pulling an entire roast chicken apart.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Today we are interviewing the Culture Secretary. But first, this delicious family bag of crisps.
To be honest, these days you get a better answer out of the bag of crisps.
Well, yes.
I'd like to see the shipping forecast where they're trying to subtly eat a tub of mince and just see. And
light vessel automatic, moderate but fair. South at Sierra, north at Sierra, moderate but fair.
I'd listen the fuck out of that. We love you lots. I will see you next time on the Infinite Escape Room. Bye-bye. Bye. And we leave into the night, singing, swaying, sick in a bin.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
John with biscuit crumbs going down his front.
Fall asleep on the bus home, end up at the depot, make friends to the bus driver, get married, have a couple of kids, live life in harmony. The end.